I was shared a video by a person on Twitter, and they was informing me, they say, Phil, you really need to look at this video out of Uganda, what the Chinese have been doing over there. You see, because a lot of times they try to promote that, oh, we just coming to do business. I don't know what's wrong, why you guys are acting this way. But you're not really showing the dirt that you're doing either. Case in point, this news story out of Uganda, they caught Chinese doing illegal transactions, taking phones that didn't belong to them, using Ugandan SIM cards. You're going to also hear about how they got into the country illegally. Well, let's go ahead and roll that clip.
This is the home of the 37 Chinese nationals who were on Friday charged with possession of suspected stolen items at Buganda Road Court. This follows an ongoing police probe that unveiled the racket after concerns by some neighbors. The raid showed motherboards of used phones and laptops reportedly stolen in Uganda, then repackaged and exported to China.
And these motherboards for the phones we suspect were snatched from Ugandans.
There were also wildlife exhibits like tortoises, pangolin scales and fish maw also recovered from this house. This is not a phone processing plant, but a makeshift control room with over 2,000 phones, each connected with a Ugandan SIM card in the names of certain individuals. Several Airtel and MTN new lines are visible. So far, police investigations show that these are used for financial crime, especially on the WeChat social media.
We note that these phones were connected to an online platform called WeChat. This is basically a Chinese-owned platform, and it is used for messaging and financial transactions. Now, the preliminary investigations we've had indicated that there were so many financial transactions done on that WeChat. And basically the targets were Chinese. Whether there are some other transactions that have been done that compromise our financial institutions and even security generally. There is also something we have also noticed, that all these telephones which are up are bearing the Ugandan telephone lines of Airtel majorly, with over 1,895 SIM cards, and also MTN of around 223.
Well, this is one of the rooms that these Chinese have actually been sleeping in, as you can see, the bed sheets and the duvets. But again, according to police, they've picked interest in another potential crime, that is smuggling. Because in this room we have boxes and boxes of cigarettes, and if I can read here, it's sept walls. And according to police, they're investigating how these boxes of cigarettes got into the country, and still they're yet to find out if it's actually one of the types that is allowed to enter the country. According to police, some of these suspects were also transacting business without work permits, as many entered the country using visitor's visa.
Now, that's a lot of phones. I have not seen that many phones at one place. I haven't even seen that many phones laid out in a cell phone store here in America. But as you saw, they had it all connected. They were going on their website, WeChat. That's something that they use to do a lot of financial transactions, because in China, you can buy, sell, trade, and everything with WeChat. So obviously they were a crime syndicate that was in Uganda doing a lot of dirt. Now, you heard how they got into the country. They came in with a visa and then they don't go back. That's what happens a lot of times. It also happens here in America as well. A lot of people come into this country on a visa and then they never go back. They go hide out in their neighborhoods and you never see them anymore. They're here for the rest of their life. But we are seeing that the brothers and sisters on the continent is getting fed up. They're getting fed up with the crimes that's happening. Yes, crime is happening, and you saw it in this video. They're getting fed up with them bringing a lot of cheap goods out there and trying to undercut the brothers and sisters that's selling things at the market. They're tired of them bringing their frozen tilapia in from China and hurting the fishermen that's in these various countries. They're tired of that. And they want to look at their government and say, hey, why are you letting all these people come in? Why aren't you monitoring this? Where's our immigration service? Why aren't you checking people, looking at visas? Why don't you find out where these people are at? Because this isn't right for these people just to come in to Uganda or whatever African nation and doing the things that they're doing. Now, what means did they use to get all those phones at one time? Because he said they were Ugandan SIM cards. They weren't Chinese. They were all Ugandan. So did you go steal? What did you do to get all that? I mean, this is, you know, the crime that is not talked about within their community. See, they always want to talk about the crime in the black community. Oh, black people do this, Pookie and Ray Ray do that. But you don't talk about these big crime syndicates that come out of China. You don't talk about that. How they have organized crime as well. How they do their own people wrong. And listen, they were defrauding their own people. They were stealing from their own. You understand? Because, you know, Pookie and Ray Ray are talked about badly, but you don't talk about how these other groups do the exact same thing. That's the Chinese Pookie and Ray Rays right there. That's exactly who they were, doing their own people dirty. But that's them and their own. What I'm saying about being in Uganda, doing dirt, no. And it's good that these videos are starting to come out now all over the world, in the African continent. You know, we got a video we're going to show out of Trinidad that show exactly the things that they're doing. And it's not a lot of positive things at all. And the brothers and sisters every time say we sick and tired of this. We sick of it. You're smuggling things in countries that don't belong in there. You didn't go through their laws and do the right thing. You didn't. You know, same thing in Uganda. They had to arrest some Chinese because they told them to go to quarantine. They wanted to get out of quarantine, breaking the law. And that's why they had to get arrested for doing that. Because they don't feel like they have to respect the laws in African nations. Just no matter what country I go to, I'm going to respect their laws. I'm not going to go there and just do whatever the hell I want to do. No, I'm the guest at that time period. So I'm going to make sure I act accordingly. But it is good that the brothers and sisters are starting to put this out, starting to expose it. I'm getting so much sent to me now. I'm like, man, I didn't know all this was going on. It's overwhelming how much you guys are sending to me. Video and stories has just, you know, I like, man, let's hear, how did y'all allow this to happen so long? That's my thoughts. Like, why isn't y'all didn't speak up? But maybe, you know, what happened in China was the stick that broke the camel's back. And maybe now people saying enough is enough. So we don't want to just harp on that, but we're going to harp on today and just how we change things in the future. So the brothers and sisters in Uganda, they need to be punished by Ugandan law. And after they're punished by Ugandan law, whatever y'all do to them, send them right on back where they come from. It's just that simple. And let them know it's not going to be tolerated for you to come in here and commit organized crime, because that was considered organized crime. Because if anybody had been caught doing that here in America, that's what they'd been charged under. It's some sort of organized crime ring. But the brothers and sisters, keep your eyes open on the continent. You be the police if you have to, because sometimes they don't want to do things because they got some corrupt people. But the police actually did their job, and I can't complain on that. Good job, brothers. For doing what you're supposed to do. Make sure they punish and deport they behind. Let me know in the comments what you think about the Chinese and their organized crime in Uganda they were doing. And why isn't this national news? Like, 'cause the moment black people do something, no matter where they at, Africa, the Caribbean, America, oh, it's national news when we do something. When they do something like this, there's nothing being said. You notice that?